And we are back with the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC 93.3 FM. It's the 4th of July themed show here on the Screen Team. We have done 1776. We've also done Independence Day, and our final film of the show is Yankee Doodle Dandy. This is a classic. At least that's what they tell me. I didn't watch the film. But I got Stacy and Tonica. Why didn't I watch it? I'm a busy man. That's why. You guys watched it, though.
Yes.
And this movie came out back in 1942, so it's a classic. It's got Cagney in there, so you know it's good. James Cagney's in it, and this is a musical film. Is it also a true story, too?
Yes.
It is. Mm-hmm. And it's about a guy named George
Cohan.
Cohan?
Cohan.
We've got three different pronunciations here.
It's about Joko.
Joko.
Hey, that'll work.
All right. So who is George Cohan? Cohen. Who is
Cohen.
He? Why did they make a movie about him?
Well, he was one of the first with the vaudeville theaters, and a lot of that is where they start singing, and they will speak at the same time as they're singing within a song. So it's not quite a full song, and he did that when he was a kid, and then he started trying to bring that to Broadway. And what is fascinating, he was actually blackballed from Broadway, so he was doing things off Broadway. He was doing things trying to get more of his stuff, well known. And then he finally ended up convincing one of the producers.
He hoodooed that guy.
Yes, he did. He ended up convincing him that he already had a contract. He was ready to sign a contract and everything, and they worked it up. And he had somebody else he met that he worked with him on their script. And so when he went in to talk to this guy, they kind of like hoodwinked him. Yeah. And then he ended up signing for it, so he finally got on Broadway. And then that was the big thing.
So when he finally got on Broadway, was it a smash hit?
Actually, that one was.
It ran for a long time. But he also wrote the Army March.
Yeah.
He wrote that
Over
song.
There.
Yeah,
Over There.
Yep, he did that one.
Yes.
Nice.
And in the movie, George Cohan is born on the 4th of July, which is where he gets his Yankee Doodle Dandy thing.
Oh.
But technically, George Cohan was born on July 3rd.
But
Liars.
From his mom, she actually said that he was born on the 4th all the way through, but the baptism from the church says the 3rd. So that's the only document that says the 3rd. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's close enough. We'll give it to him. I mean, he could have been a midnight baby.
So I'm assuming there's a lot of music in this film, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The musical numbers, are they catchy? Are they good? Or they kind of put you to sleep?
I hate musicals other than Grease and Pitch Perfect. I'm just not a big musical person. This movie had me sucked in, and I loved it. But even before the movie started, did you watch the Leonard Maltin little thing that he did at the beginning?
Yeah.
Where he's...
I think that's...
I did.
She's saying yes with her words, but no with her face.
But I'm wondering where you're going.
Well, I'm just talking about the movie in general. Like, it started from... It gave you the whole night out, which is what they did. Yeah. And you had... it had just all the different things. So this movie, this disc, this everything, it had me. And I hate musicals. But this one was good. And the dancing and the singing, and the girl who played his sister in this movie is James Cagney's real sister.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's very cool. I didn't know that. So what about James Cagney? He usually plays...
What about James Cagney?
Well, I'm getting ready.
Oh, dear, you're not going to like me.
He plays...
She can't talk. It's not her turn.
He normally plays gangsters. So did he pull off this particular role?
I loved him in it. I can't imagine anybody else having done that.
Tonica?
He's like James Franco. It's hit and miss with him. Some of the roles I like of his and some I don't. This one was okay. But my mother talked to me beforehand, and she's like, this is why I don't like James Cagney, and this is why I never liked seeing this in the theater, and blah, blah, blah. So she went on and told me all about this. And so that was stuck in my head, and I was like, thanks a lot, Mom. But so I saw things differently this time through what she saw, because she's not a big James Cagney fan.
Some good satisfaction because I told Doug we were going to watch it, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, no!" And there was a certain point in the movie he was like, "Would you stop talking? I'm really into this." This is like even he was hooked on it. So yeah. I just don't think you can go wrong with this movie.
Yeah.
I was looking at your Facebook page, and you had mentioned quotes on there. Was there a quote where he's talking to the president?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, the movie kind of starts out. He's backstage, and he had been portraying the president, and he was a little concerned because that's kind of a shady thing to do back then. And he gets a telegram from the president, so he goes to the president, and the president says, "Well, I want to hear your story." So that's where the movie it kind of goes back to that. And then at the end of the movie, he's still having this conversation, and so then the president has a gift for him, and then that's when that little bit of conversation took place. And
at the end of his career, he played Roosevelt in a huge Broadway play. So Roosevelt heard about it and wanted to talk to him, and that's why he did it, because he portrayed Roosevelt as a very stronger person. Because, a lot of people didn't know he was in a wheelchair. So they never portrayed that. They portrayed him as a stronger person because of the war, and it actually helped Roosevelt. So that was one of the reasons why they did it. Why, he came in the picture.
Yeah. And it was just, I think the quote was pretty cool. Like, how just a regular guy like me can sit down and have a conversation with the head chief like you. How something just as being an actor and portraying somebody could get you, that. And then the very, very end of the movie, I was just like, and
his dad died.
Well,
it was just
like the part where the guy said, "Do you not remember the word, son?" And he goes, "I think I do," because it was over there. Is what they were playing.
Yeah.
And so he, I was just like, "Oh, that's just so sweet." I don't know. I thought it was a great movie.
So Tonica, you were telling me off mic that you studied him in theater.
It was a musical theater class we had at ASU. So we had to study all different types of musicals, and one of the I guess we took a couple weeks just studying his. And then, so we end up watching this movie as part of it so we can get more of the gist of who he is. So there was a lot of stuff that I remember about him that's not in the movie,
Right.
Because he wasn't a very nice person. A lot of people didn't like working with him. A lot of actresses wouldn't work with him. That's why he kept sticking with certain ones.
Well, his own kids.
Yeah.
They disassociated themselves with him even when he died. Like they didn't really care.
He's a very abrupt, he was a very abrasive person, I should say. It was very hard to work with.
So let me ask you about Yankee Doodle Dandy. One last question. Do you guys think this is a good movie to watch on the 4th? Do you think it's...
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. And I want to say, go if you get the DVD that has all the extras, go to the little Leonard Maltin thing, hit play from there, and just watch. Because he takes you, in 1942, they didn't have TV. So you get a cartoon, you get a newsreel, you get a little bit of propaganda. You get, and matter of fact, it was like this little propaganda piece was, and I said, Doug, is this the movie or is this like a commercial or what is this? He's like, no, it's just a little extra, about the fighter pilot or whatever. And but I was really, really intrigued by like when you went to the movies. Now, you better pack a lunch because you're going to be there for a while, And I just thought that was really neat. So take the time, watch the whole thing, settle in, make a sandwich, make some popcorn, get a gallon of tea. You're good to go.
Well, tonight it's going to be on, I think, at 7.
Oh, cool.
So...
Do you know what channel?
No, because I just went on through and just looked for it and just searched.
Thank you for teasing us. And
Sorry, maybe AMC.
Turner Classics, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know.
Check your local listings to find out.
Check your local listings.
Do a search.
Stacy and Tonica, thank you guys so much for coming on the show, and happy 4th of July to you guys.
Happy 4th.
Before we move on, Tonica, I want to mention you do a blog on the old internet, correct?
Yeah.
You do the lights, camera...
Opinions from the concession stand.
Yes, and if people want more information on that, they can just find you on Facebook.
Yeah, just go find it on Facebook, yeah.
All right, very good. Coming up next week, we have a brand new show and a brand new member of the Screen Team. Miss Tracy Mills will be in the studio, and we'll be reviewing the Heath Ledger film A Knight's Tale.
Ooh, I like that one.
We also got kind of a scary film called As Above, So Below. And we'll be finishing the show with the Kevin Hart film, The Wedding Ringer. That is next Saturday at 6 p.m. So for Sabrina, Tonica, Stacy, and Chris, we are the Screen Team on today's Talk 930 KWOC.